Somewhere in New South Wales, we can grow great quantities of just about anything. But the sustainable production of the farms of New South Wales doesn't depend on the quality of our soil. It doesn't depend on it being hot enough or cold enough. It doesn't depend on it being steep enough or flat enough. It depends on the availability of water. Our richest soils in the Liverpool Plains or on the slopes of Mount Canobolas are worthless without water. Rainfall, our primary source of water, is a variable beast. From the crushing droughts of the Second World War and the Federation period through the first part of this century, to times of great plenty in the First World War, in the 1950s, in the mid-1970s. And in those times of plenties, our rivers run, our dams fill, our wetlands are wet. But more importantly, our groundwater systems are replenished. Great quantities of rainfall seep into the ground and replenish the great artesian basin from the recharge system along the east coast, and also into the fractured rocks and porous rocks of the Sydney-Gunnedah Basin that extends from Sutton Forest through to Narrabri, and across west of the Divide, in the deep leads and the old fractured rock of the Lachlan Fold Belt. Apart from feeding boars that sustain homes, feed chooks, but most of these impacts were relatively small areas. Now we are dealing with a completely new animal, coal seam gas extraction. This, together with coal seam mining, has the potential to adversely affect groundwater systems over large parts of the state. We are no longer talking about relatively small areas, we are talking about huge areas. The current New South Wales Government of Exploration licences for coal seam gas lists an area of 189,000 square metres, 19 million hectares. To this we must add 24,000 hectares of producing coal seam gas and all the coal mining areas. Together this comprises much of our populated area, our forested wilderness, our wetlands and our rivers. This huge expansion of mining in areas will impact groundwater regimes, and it has only occurred in an uncontrolled manner over a very short time. Now, in order to extract coal seam gas, you have to completely depressurize the groundwater system and remove the groundwater from that coal seam. It's all got to go, or the gas will not flow. This is the same as a coal mine. In effect, you've got a complete groundwater void down there. It is a matter of physics and not of opinion that this depressurization will affect the whole groundwater system. Because like the metaphorical apple that fell on Sir Isaac Newton's head, groundwater flows under gravity downhill. How long will it take for these changes to be substantial? We don't know. How extensive will they be? We don't know. One thing we do know is encapsulated by Dr. Richard Evans, Principal Hydrogeologist of St. Cleant Merchant. He said, "There is no free lunch here. Every litre of water you pump out of the ground reduces river flow by the same amount." The water is extracted from the coal seams over many months. It's saline. It's classified as a pollutant. Typically, this water contains half a teaspoon of salt in every litre. That means that in a small coal seam gas field, such as at Gloucester with 100 wells, it will produce about 5,000 tonnes of salt every year.
That's ridiculous!
I think our government should take a deep breath and allow proper impacts of coal seam gas extraction.